Hey, it's Adam, and welcome to Understanding Masculinity Part 4, Becoming an Attractive Man. Now, this is part 4 of a 4-part series for a reason, because in order to become an attractive man, you have to understand masculine and feminine polarity, which I talk about in part 1. You have to find your life purpose and what you're most passionate about, which is part 2. And you have to be putting into place masculinity practices, 10 of which I go over in part 3. So now, once you've built this very strong foundation for yourself, now we're ready to actually consider becoming an attractive man. So there's a ton of dating advice on YouTube, and I've spent hours absorbing lots and lots and lots of dating advice from books, from my own personal experience, some of which has been successful, some of which has been a complete utter failure. And I've distilled down all of the lessons that I've learned into some very simple principles that you can put into place into your life to start to become an attractive man. Now, first, I want to make the distinction between internal game and external game. So in the dating community for guys, game is basically the act of getting a girl to become attracted to you. And they like to distinguish between external game, which is basically everything you show, everything you do on the outside. So what to say, how to dress, how to present yourself, how to look. These are all external things. And external game is nowhere near as important as internal game, which is the mindsets that you have, your energy, the energy that you bring into the interaction. Women are not attracted to how you look, even though they are partially, but they're mostly attracted to the energy that you bring, the masculine energy that you bring into the interaction. So masculine energy is movement, and masculine energy is driven. So you can begin to embody a lot of masculine energy just by putting yourself on track with your life purpose. So your mood and therefore your attractiveness towards women is determined primarily by your trajectory in life, where you're going, and has a lot less to do with your current circumstances. So a lot of men get stuck in this feeling of, oh, I can't be attractive to girls because I'm not a millionaire, or I can't be attractive to girls because I'm ugly or I'm not tall enough. This stuff has basically nothing to do with feminine attraction. And feminine attraction has everything to do with the energy that the man brings into the interaction, which comes from his trajectory in his own life. Is he going after what he wants and what he believes is the most meaningful? This is going to give him an air of confidence. So we're going to go into some qualities of an attractive man. And it's just important to understand that there is literally only internal game. Internal game is the most important. So that's why we have to understand part 1, 2, and 3 of this series before we can even think about being an attractive man. So the number one way to be an attractive man is to actually literally work on yourself and become attractive, literally transform yourself as a person so that you are awesome. That's the only way to do it. There's no other way. There's no secret technique that's going to make girls attracted to you. You have to put in the work on yourself to actually become attractive. You have to align your life to your life purpose. You have to be grounded in the present moment with daily meditation practice. You have to be able to be free and humorous and spontaneous. You have to exercise. You have to have basic hygiene. You got to brush your teeth. You got to shave your balls. You got to comb your hair. All that good stuff. Hopefully you have some muscles going, because this all has to do with you caring about yourself. And you especially have to be willing to be 100% honest with how you feel about yourself. You have to be honest with yourself first and foremost, and then you have to be willing to be honest with other people, and especially with beautiful women. So let's get into some qualities of an attractive man. Number one, an attractive man is making strong eye contact. So when he's talking to a beautiful woman, or when he's talking to anyone in general, he makes strong eye contact, and he's completely grounded, and he doesn't break eye contact. Women are picking up constantly on subtle cues that you're giving off, because evolutionarily, is that even a word? Evolutionarily, in the past, because of evolution and biology, women have to judge whether or not the man is going to be a suitable caregiver and is going to protect them and their kids from attackers, and is going to be able to provide resources. And the way that they do that is to see if you're strong, if you're fearless. So the best way to portray that is, first of all, to actually become strong and fearless, and that is going to manifest from the inside out into all of these qualities, such as making strong eye contact. So when you're walking down the street, I highly recommend, if you want to increase your masculine energy, to practice making eye contact with people that you pass by. Make sure your head is looking up and you're facing the world at eye level, and you're not looking down all scared and meek, but your head up, facing, looking at the world at eye level. And if you make eye contact with a stranger, you make sure that they break it first. Do not be the first person to break the eye contact. You let them break the eye contact first. So if you're sitting on the subway and you make eye contact with a pretty girl, you don't look away right away. You stare at her in the eyes. Maybe you can smile until she looks away first. And if she doesn't look away, then you got to go talk to her, because or else it's going to get really weird. Next point, your internal masculine energy is going to manifest in a smile, a big smile. Because life is awesome. Life is great. Smile. There's no reason not to be happy. So when you're talking to a beautiful woman, you being able to smile means that, first of all, you're not taking this interaction too seriously. It's not a big deal. It's all lighthearted. It's not a life or death situation whether or not this girl is attracted to me or not. It literally doesn't matter. So I'm smiling. I'm able to be humorous. I'm having a good time in my life in general. I'm able to be internally grounded in my own good feelings, and I don't need external validation from the woman and from other people in the world so that I can feel happy internally. And this leads into the next point. A man who's embodying his masculine energy and is attractive is not invested in what other people think of him. So he has his own opinions about things. He has his own likes and dislikes. And he doesn't care what other people think about him. So if he's at a dance party, if he genuinely wants to dance, he's going to dance however he wants. And he doesn't care if people look at him and say, "Oh, you're dancing so weird. Why do you dance like that?" It literally doesn't matter. Or if he wants to say something to another guy or a beautiful girl, then he's going to say it regardless of if it might be something that offends the person, because he doesn't care what other people think about him. Now, he cares a little bit, but in general, he's more invested in his own confidence in himself than he is in what other people think about him. And that's a very attractive quality, is to be internally grounded. Now this goes into the next point, and this comes from Mark Manson, his book Models. Absolutely, this is definitely one of the best dating books that you can read. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's phenomenal. It's totally comprehensive, great book. Mark Manson says that an attractive man is willing to polarize the situation with a beautiful woman. So something that's polarizing means that, first of all, you have to be honest with how you're feeling in the moment. You have to be honest with your intentions. So when I go and I approach a beautiful woman, first of all, the act of me approaching her, making strong eye contact, smiling, that's already polarizing, because I'm presenting myself and I'm putting myself in a position where she can reject me. So your willingness to put yourself in a position where you can be embarrassed, where you can be rejected, that is an attractive quality, because that means you are okay with being rejected. And that's super, super important. So when I approach a beautiful girl, that's already making a statement that, okay, I want to talk to you. And then you make eye contact, you smile, and you say something like, "I thought you were cute," or "I thought you're beautiful, and I just wanted to give you a hug," or "I just wanted to talk to you and I wanted to see what you're all about." That statement already, that's polarizing. And everything you say to a girl has to do with your internal intention behind what you say. It has nothing to do with the actual content of what you're saying. So a lot of guys get really hung up on they don't have the right thing to say to a girl, but literally it doesn't matter at all. You can say whatever you want. You can literally say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. What does matter is your intention behind what you say. So if you go up to a girl and you say that she's beautiful, and you say it because you want her to like you, that's going to turn her off. Because girls, they got the neediness sensors, they got the antennas, the neediness antennas. And when you are being needy, when you need her validation, when you need her to be attracted to you, the sensors are going to go ring, 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 neediness alert, and she's going to immediately be repulsed, and she's going to try and get away from the situation. But if I go up to her and I say, "I thought you were cute, and I'm just being honest. I'm just saying it just to say it because that's what I thought, and that's why I'm talking to her. I'm not saying it because I want something from her. I'm saying it because I'm just being authentic and honest. The reason why I'm talking to you right now is because I thought you were pretty and I wanted to talk to you. I'm just being 100% honest with my intentions and how I'm feeling. And that goes throughout the entire interaction. Whenever you're interacting with anyone, especially with beautiful women, it's key that you're maintaining 100% transparency and you're being honest with how you're feeling. Now, this is a lot easier if you've understand masculine and feminine polarity, have found your life purpose and are aligning your life towards it, and also are doing masculine practices, which is why this is the fourth part of a 4-part series. Because if you haven't done any of these foundational things, first of all, you won't even be able to be honest because you know deep down that you suck. And that you deep down don't feel attractive. So how are you going to go talk to a beautiful girl? You're going to have to lie to her. And whenever you're lying to anyone, that means that you care about what they think of you. And that's not attractive. The masculine is grounded in himself, in his own opinion of himself. So if you're ever lying to literally anyone, it means that you care about what they think of you. And that's an unattractive quality. The woman won't be able to trust you. She won't be able to be vulnerable around you because you are not even willing to be vulnerable around her. That's the key to being honest, is being willing to be vulnerable. So that's polarizing. Polarizing means communicating your intention and being willing to say things that would offend someone. Or not offend, but putting yourself on the line, basically. An attractive man sets boundaries. So by setting boundaries, that means if a woman is acting in a certain way that you don't like, so maybe she is making fun of your friends or something, you don't just let that happen, because again, that would mean that you are scared of offending her. So if she's making fun of your friends, you say like, hey, stop, that's not cool, don't do that. I have boundaries, don't do that. Or if you ask her out on a date, and then you ask her to go out at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and then at 6:50 she calls you and says, hey, I'm super busy, I don't know if something came up, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. You know, she's trying to flake. You say, hey, that's not cool. Like, this is the time that we've decided to go, and why are you flaking? I don't accept this type of behavior. I don't want to reschedule. This is the time, basically. And if you miss this, then I'm sorry. Like, okay, so the attractive man works on himself, especially his internal game. So that's why we've done the first, second, and third part of this series. The attractive man works on himself. When you work on yourself and you are become internally grounded, all of these details about what to say, how to act, what kind of clothes should I wear, what kind of eye contact should I make, all of that becomes almost irrelevant. Because you being internally grounded it has nothing to do with the external details of your behavior or the situation. An attractive man leads the situation. He takes the lead because that's masculine energy. Masculine energy is driven and is leading the interaction. So when you're talking to a girl, let's say it's an intimate, you're talking and it's a man to woman interaction, then you as the man are taking the lead. You're deciding where to go. You're deciding like, okay, we're gonna go to the park and we're gonna go to this area, and then afterwards we're going to go eat at this restaurant, and then afterwards we're gonna go do this thing. I'm taking the lead, and this is because the feminine wants to relax in you demonstrating your masculine direction. So the masculine isn't always asking the feminine for directions or asking her what to do. That's not attractive. He has to already be sure and know what to do and say, okay, we're going to go here. And in a lot of cases, the girl will say, okay. It's like, okay, we're going to go to sushi. She'll say, okay, let's go to sushi. And if she's like, no, I don't like sushi. Say, okay, then let's try maybe this different place. How do you like that? It's like, no, I don't like that. And this gets into the point of testing, which I'm going to talk about at the end, because tests are really important to understand if you want to be an attractive man, because girls test you to see if you're strong. So a man takes the lead, and ultimately a man is non-needy. He doesn't need a woman to tell him what to do. He doesn't need a woman for validation. He doesn't need a beautiful woman so that he can feel better about himself, so that he can show off to his friends, or so that he can get status. He doesn't need her for anything. But he wants her to have amazing experiences with. He would like to spend time with her, but he doesn't need her. There's a big difference, because when you're needy, that makes you act weird. But if you're non-needy, then you just act like yourself, and you're just honest, and you're just 100%, you're totally cool, calm, you act like yourself. An attractive man is socially aware. He understands social situations, subtle social cues. A lot of this comes from meditation practice. I have a video called Benefits of Meditation, How Meditation Improves Your Social Skills. These subtle social cues, like if the girl is slowly turning her body away, that means that she might want to leave, or she might want to go into a different situation. Or if she's always looking somewhere else, maybe there's someone over there, and then you should stop what you're talking about or and address the social change. So guys are socially aware to subtle social cues. Attractive guys. And then I already talked about willing to be embarrassed. And now, before I close up this video, because I feel like it's getting a little bit long, we have to talk about shit tests. And David Data talks a lot about this. The Way of the Superior Man. This is the best book. You are really screwing yourself. You're depriving yourself of a lot of information if you haven't read this book. The feminine naturally wants to test the masculine. And the feminine naturally challenges the masculine because she wants to feel his strength. So David Data goes into a lot of depth on this point, but girls will intentionally give you a hard time. And this isn't necessarily a sign that they don't like you. A lot of the time, this is a sign that they do like you. So if a girl is giving you a hard time, like she's challenging something you say, or she's making fun of you, or she's saying like, oh, you think you're so cool, don't you? That's an example of a shit test. It's actually a good sign. It's flirtatious, and what she's doing is she wants to feel that she can't move you off of your center, because the feminine actually gets pleasure from shit testing a man, challenging his masculinity, and feeling that she can't move him off of his center. So if a girl says to you, oh, you think you're so cool, don't you? That's just a random example of a shit test. If you get moved off your center and you say, what do you mean? I don't think I'm cool. I'm just doing. See, that's you caring about what she thinks about you, and you're not being strong and grounded in your masculinity. But if she says, oh, you think you're so cool, don't you? And you just laugh and say, yes, I'm the coolest person on the planet, or something like that. Or you laugh and you give her a hug and you lift her up and spin her around and say, oh, how's this for being cool? That's an example of you staying grounded and free and humorous, and your ability to stay free even in the face of challenge. And that's extremely attractive for the feminine. So thank you so much for listening. I think this is going to be the last video in this series. I haven't decided whether or not I want to make a 5th part, but I don't want this to be a dating channel. However, this information is, I think, extremely important for men to understand. I've done my best to simplify all of this dating, masculinity, career, life purpose information. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video.